right, everybody, welcome back. Okay, so today, oh, by the way, if for some reason the sound's not quite normal, it's because I'm having a little trouble with one of my little devices, but I tested it before and it sounded okay, so we'll keep moving. So today we're going to do another really simple project. I've not done one of these on a video, and I'm selling a lot of these, so I thought I'd just do a very simple bracelet using a toggle clasp. And simple, you can do it with your eyes closed. So let's get started on what we need. First of all, I decided I was going to use some of those beads that I bought from BCV Glass out of the Czech Republic. And today I'm using these table cut, rectangular table cuts. They're an opaque light blue slipperet. So this is the package that it came in. They were $8.51. They're 12 by 8. Anyway, but this was part of that order I did back earlier in the summer that I thought it was a stateside company, but it was actually from the Czech Republic. But some of the most gorgeous beads I've ever laid my eyes on as far as glass beads. So anyway, but here's what they look like. And you can see these have a little bit of almost like a coppery rose gold edging on them. Aren't they gorgeous? You can see through them. I don't know if you can see that right there on my little pointer thing under there, but you can see through them. So I'm just excited about this. I don't know why they called these opaque. I would call them more of a translucent because you can see through them, but they called them opaque. But anyway, so we're using these. I've got some copper colored little 4 to 5 millimeter bead caps. I'll get it out in a minute. And then I'm mixing metal colors because I want to kind of give it a little bit more sparkle. So I'm using these little daisy spacers right here. You can use any size daisy spacer you want, but these are, I forgot to look, they are about an 8 millimeter. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. And then I've got this beautiful rose gold toggle clasp right here. And it already had the jump rings on it, which is perfect for me. But if you don't have that on your toggle, you'll need a couple of little jump rings, maybe a 6 millimeter. Then I've got a couple of finishing beads, and this is about a 6 millimeter copper bead. And then obviously you've got your crimp and crimp cover. And I'm using a medium weight Acuflex beading wire. Probably can't because I write on these so I don't have to read the small print. But Acuflex 49 strand classic medium weight beading wire. Okay, let's get going. Okay, first of all, I usually make these about 8 inches long maybe, so they'll kind of fit 7.5, somewhere around there, so they'll kind of fit most people. I try not to do these too specific on size, kind of like these little stretch bracelet things. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I've got my beading wire here already clipped. I already know what pattern I'm going to do because I worked that out before I started. So I'm going to go ahead and put the end on, one of the ends on to get us started. So I'm going to take my little crimp right there, slide it across. Take one of my ends of my toggle, and then we're going to run that back through like so. Now remember, again, just like with necklaces, make sure you leave enough room in here that this little guy can breathe. You don't want this so tight that it won't move. They don't like screaming for their lives. They like a little space. All right, so let me finish this crimp here. Mash it down. All right. Then put the little crimp cover over. And now, if you already know your pattern that you're going to be doing, excuse me, this is perfect. If not, then you'll want to play with your pattern before you get started. I think that's the best way to do it. Oh, my hands are not working. I just got over COVID, so this is my first video I've done since then. So yeah, I've been kind of a little under the weather, so I'm not quite getting my hands working as good as they normally do. All right. Let me make sure, let me get my eyes down here, make sure I've got that in there good. Yeah, and that's the thing too with a crimp. You want to make sure that your wire is all the way down in that little hole right there on the side, because you don't want to crimp off your wire. All right. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. This has been a good day for me. I've had a lot of things going on today. My husband's on a video shoot with another helper other than me today. Yay for a change. Yeah, he's taken a friend of ours to kind of mentor him into understanding video and how it works. But anyway, so he's out on a shoot. It's been gone since 8 o'clock this morning. Don't know what time he'll get home, but we have steak waiting. I'm sure he'll call me about the time he gets ready to come home and go, hey, what's for dinner? Oh my gosh. All right, I'm about to get this on there. This little guy was a little cantankerous today. But then again, it could be operator. Oh, not as clean as I would like it, but hey. All right, I'll go back and clean it up in just a minute, just for time right now. All right, so I've got that on. Got the little end on there, and so let's go to the next steps. All right, let me get the little eyeballs back up. Next thing is I'm going to put on the finishing bead down on this end. Make sure you run your wire back through like so. Like so. Okay, so what we're planning on doing is this is going to be the pattern. Now I'm not going to use bead caps this time to flank these, which is something I would normally do, but I'm not going to do that this time. They're actually going to be flanking these little 8mm daisy things, spacers. So it's going to be a little bit opposite of what you think it's going to be. All right, so we are going to start here. Let's put, we'll flank the first one. How about that? The very first piece. All right. Because it's the starting. I hope my hands are in the camera. It just dawned on me. Duh, I'm so sorry. Since this is the starting bead right here, we are going to flank that one little piece right there, and the rest of it will not be. Okay, so with that, we're going to start another bead cap, put on one of the daisy spacers, another bead cap, and notice the bead caps are facing the daisy spacer right here. It's facing those. They're flanking this. And another blue, another bead cap, the silver. And the other thing too is because I'm flanking the silver, it takes a little bit of the edge off of the silver, so it's not quite as bright as it would be without it. So that's another reason why I'm doing that. I know the last project was that that ruby red imperial jasper, and simple necklace to do, but oh my gosh, y'all, the beauty of that thing, that one's gold. The beauty of it was just amazing and simple to do, and you can use any kind of centerpiece you want to do that. It's so easy. And this is another easy project, but absolutely beautiful on the wrist. All right, so let's look at our pattern here. And there's what it's going to look like. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness. I love mixed metals. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bead the rest of it down to the end, and I will be back. All right, we're at the end here. And look how beautiful. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at the color. Oh, such a beautiful, beautiful color of blue. I just fell in love with it when I saw it. Okay, so I went ahead and I put my finishing bead on. Next thing we're going to do is put the last part of the toggle on. So I'm going to get my bead cap. And remember to add your little, right here, remember your little bead cap right there that flanks that very first bead, like we did right down here. So remember that, okay? Gonna do this, get your toggle, other end of your toggle. Hopefully this cap's not gonna give me a pain in the papa like it did earlier. All right. Make sure you have a little room for that thing to breathe. Let me get my eyes down here. Remember, with crimps, tube crimps, especially with tube crimps, make sure you mash it and then fold it in half. If you don't fold it, the wire will come out. So with this, I'm going to run just a little bit back through. Not a lot. Maybe a bead or two down. This is this right here is the tough part. And the tough part about it is not running it through. It's this one little bead cap right there you got to get through. And it's just a matter of working it with your fingers. It will go through eventually. There it comes right there. We'll pull that down just a little. Work it through that bead cap. Come on, baby. And through that first bead right there. I see it. Just got to get it out. Come on out of there. There it is. All right, then I'm going to clip it as close to that bead as I can. All right. Last thing here, putting on this little crimp cover to finish it off. Now, a lot of people don't use crimp covers to cover their crimps, but I think you need to. Personally, it gives it a finished look. That's the whole purpose of it. It's that finished look. Work this thing down in here. I'm down at the tail end of my bag of crimp covers, and most of them down in there, the last ones, kind of have a whoppy jaw look to them, so it's taking me a minute to get them worked down in there. Normally it's not that difficult, really and truly it's not. But they sure are acting cantankerous today. All right, let me close it up very gently. Just gentle, gentle, gentle. Because if you mash it too fast, you will mash your cover. Alrighty guys, we are done with this simple little bracelet project. Is this not gorgeous? Oh my goodness, look at these beautiful, beautiful table cut beads. I love this. I might have to make a pair of earrings. Ooh, I just saw a pattern in my head. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this simple video today. You guys have a blessed weekend. I'll see you back on the next one. Bye.